All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and we're going to start today's lesson. We're continuing with, oops, that's not where I wanted to go. We're continuing with the idea of probability, but we are going to learn how to do it using Venn diagrams. And of course, it expanded too much. Come back to size. Where are we today? Look how that's weird. Okay. It's been funky today. Anyone else's OneNotes hate them lately? Yeah, mine. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the club. It's been mocking me for about 10 years. All right. Come here. All right. Now, here's Venn diagrams. Venn diagrams are pictorial pictures of classifying or grouping numbers. Venn diagrams put categories where they need to go. Venn diagrams represent, aka categorical variables. With me on that? Remember categorical, or when you do what? Group. You put in groups, right? So let's have a little bit of fun. But here's the hardest thing about putting stuff into groups. You cannot count a person more than once in ever, because you're only one person. With me on this? Okay, here we go. It says here, Miss Lucas conducted a survey of 40 randomly chosen students she teaches. The survey results show that 23 are taking marching band, 25 are taking Spanish. There are 12 students both in marching band and taking Spanish. All right, so how do Venn diagrams work? First of all, Venn diagrams, you normally make a giant rectangle, or you just assume the whole page represents that rectangle. That represents the total number. How many people did she survey randomly? So this is her 40 students survey. Are you guys with me on that? So the rectangle is all 40. So everyone has to be counted somewhere inside that rectangle. Then she made the following comments. She said 23 are in marching band. Okay? So 23 are in marching band. Let's see if I can get this thing to move. This thing was mean earlier. Is it going to let me do it? Here we go. So we have our marching band. Here. How many students are supposed to be in marching band? 23. Right now, that blue circle, purple circle, whatever you want to call it, is going to be in marching band. I'm going to see if I can get this to move down here. Perfect. Okay, then in red, these are going to be the students who are in Spanish class. How many are in Spanish? 25. Okay. Now, why did I put those in parentheses? Everything in that red circle has to add up to what? That amount. Everything in the blue circle has to add up to the 23. With me so far? Okay, now there was one more piece of information they helped you with. They said there are 12 students, both in marching band and in Spanish class. Where does that land? Yeah, it's where they overlap. Where do I put the 12? Right there. Those 12 students are put in that group. They're a unique group. They're the ones who take both. Are you guys with me on that? Now, quick question. How many students are in Spanish class? Okay. What should be out here? Because total-wise, what does 12 and 13 have to add up to be? 25. That whole group. With me so far? Okay. Well, let's go to marching band. Marching band. How many kids should be outside of that little eyeball or football shape? How many should go right here? That should be 11. Because what's 11 plus 12? 23. Now, we have successfully not double counted anybody. Are you guys with me on that? What's 11 plus 12 plus 13? How many students are there? Where's my 4? Not doing either. So where are they at? Out here somewhere. They are, remember, everything inside that rectangle has to add up to that number that she surveyed. But if it doesn't fit into either one of those categories, they're outside of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, notice how easy it is. Could I have accidentally double counted this? Yeah. What if I counted 12 twice? All of a sudden, I have more people than I actually surveyed. That is the number one error statistics students do when they're making Venn diagrams, double counting people. But you're only one person. Sorry, you're not two. Even if you're bipolar, you're physically still just one person, okay? So just know one. All right, let's answer the questions. How many students are in marching band and not taking Spanish? 11. How did you get there? Oh, we literally could just go 23 minus 12, and we got what? And guys, what must we do? Label. Perfect. Great job. Okay, how many students are taking Spanish and not marching band? 13. Why? Because we have our 25 minus 12, and that gives us our 13 students. Do you see, if you take the time to draw a really good Venn diagram, does it do the math for you? Yeah, it really is kind of cool. How many students are neither in the marching band nor Spanish class? 4. And how did we get that? We literally added up everyone that was taking the two classes. We subtracted it, and we got that lovely 4. So basically, the math we did in their head, did I just show you how to do it on the paper? But isn't it cool how visual it is? It just saves so much agony and time. How many students are either in marching band or, now this is a different word, or taking Spanish class? That are in marching band or taking Spanish class? You said 24? All right, so you got 24. Where'd you guys at? It's or. So it's either or. Here's where it's the kicker. Isn't it really? I know, but you guys actually, I'm so proud of you for guys answering. I'd rather you answer and be wrong than not answer at all. Are you guys with me on that? Because that lets me know you're thinking, okay? But do you agree with me? Let's just say I know for sure I got 20, well, not highlighted though, people. 23 students in marching band, right? And where did I get that? That was 11 plus 12, right? Plus, without double counting, how many more people do I have? 13, right? So we get how many students? 36. So really what you're doing is I'm counting all 3 of these spaces right here. That's everyone who are in marching band and what? Spanish. But I have to be careful not to double count. And that's where the 36 students come from. So you kind of have to think, what part of the Venn diagram does it represent? Now guys, you've seen Venn diagrams before, correct? Is this the first time for most of you, or at least seen a visual somewhere probably on a problem? Probably a standardized test, tortured you or something. You never know. You guys, does it kind of make sense? Okay. So we're going to use some words. So today's heavy vocab, but not as much like yesterday. Holy cow, yesterday. Okay. Mathematically, when we use a conjunction, and conjunction means bringing things together. When we use and, it joins 2 categories, and a new category is formed. Guys, what is the new category? Yeah, it's actually which one? This is actually the both. Because if I'm in marching band and Spanish, what do I have? How many students? 12. So you see, I'm not just marching band. I'm not just Spanish. I'm what? Both. It's like, I call it the football shape. Just arrived, okay? When you are working with it, and it's, by the way, and it's composed of the elements in both categories, but here's the other word. You guys remember what the other word is for conjunctions? Or, right? You're so kind of nerd from English, guys. Great job. All right. Or joins 2 categories, and the new category combines all elements of both. That was number 4 earlier. Are you guys with me on that? That was your number 4. All right. Let's have fun, and let's do one that was made for us, but you're going to be really calculator happy with me on this. Okay, so we can do these quickly. And we're going to do counting and probability based off of this, okay? So I like this one, so we're going to go back to this a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of flipping your page back and forth. All right, the following Venn diagram. It says, in a recent study, medical researchers surveyed Americans about their diagnosis of 3 lung diseases, acquiring their data from a health and wellness survey of 75,000 Americans. What does that rectangle represent? Quite a few people. That's a good study, actually. That's a lot of people. Now, here we're going to ask the questions. Now, notice we have 3 circles. Those who are diagnosed with COPD, diagnosed with emphysema, and diagnosed with chronic bronchitis. And then what did it say in the top corner there? No what? No diagnosis of any of those. Now, here's the question. How many of the people surveyed were diagnosed with all 3 lung diseases? How did you know that? Well, how did you know that it said? Where is it located? Yeah, where they all what? Overlap. So is that a new subcategory? It's the person has COPD and emphysema and what? That's actually kind of sad. But anyway, feel for that person. We got 333 people. But of 75,000. I know. It's a big deal. All right, now what's the next one? What is the probability, I need you to hear this on here, that a person selected randomly from the individual surveyed was diagnosed with all 3 lung diseases? What's the probability of, I heard it, all 3 diseases. I'm just going like this real quick. So it's 333 over what? 75,000, right? Yeah, because it's just a total amount, right? Now, if we're just doing a decimal on this is where I actually prefer this part for it, you get 0.0, someone do the decimal with me, someone double check me. Is that right? So what would that be percentage-wise? So that's about 0.44, I don't know why I'm going 3, but I'm going 3 today, percent. Do you see why I prefer the fraction? But are all those correct ways of representing that? Yeah, those work. Now, let's see if we can keep going with this on the next question. How many of the people surveyed were diagnosed with both COPD and emphysema? So this is the probability of COPD and, if I can spell emphysema, only reason why is because it's right there in front of me on the paper. Okay. Oh, no, sorry. I just want to know the menu. Sorry. What do we got? I want both. Careful. I'm looking, let's talk about this. I have this sounds so bad, guys. It sounds like I have a disease. I have COPD right here. And I have what? Emphysema. Where did they overlap? So it's the eyelet one, right? Or the football shape. If you play football, that's for you. Okay. But the football shape, it's where they overlap. So how many people are that? Are they? Yeah. Uh-huh. So that should be 670 what? 6 people. Guys, I feel kind of sad for those. Would you guys agree? Now, look what we're doing next. Just the nuances of this question. What is the probability that a person selected randomly from the individual survey, so that's from all 75,000 people, were diagnosed with both? So the probability of COPD and what? Yeah, emphysema. So what do we do? That's 600, right? I just put the wrong number on there. 676 over 75,000. All right, what do we get for a decimal? This decimal looks nasty. I think it's repeating, isn't it? Hello, fraction, way better with this. But we'll just go with it. The fraction needs to, if we kept it in fraction format, would it have to be reduced? Hello, can 2 come out of both? So could I reduce it? If we're leaving it in fraction format, that had to be reduced. But I wanted to show you the decimal, or you could say 0.90 You could say 1.3%. I'm just keeping that because of what we have. But, or 0.90% would be a really good value for that. Either one of here. Now, if I don't tell you, notice I didn't reduce that fraction. But if I said, and you want to do that as a fraction, reduce it. Okay? Now, we don't want to have to write out the word and and or as much. So we want to let our symbolic unit, let me put it this way. If you can learn these symbols now, it makes your life easier in college algebra and also in statistics later in your life. Anytime you see this giant upside down U, that means intersection. Here's really what it means in English. And. When we use the intersection symbol, we are doing joint probability, which means we are looking at more than one trait. So it's where they have their overlap. Are you guys with me on this? So think about it on our examples. Up above, when we did the probability of all three, that was COPD. And we had, what was it, emphysema? And wasn't the other one chronic bronchitis? We know we're going to use all three of those where they overlap. And means it has to be true characteristic for that person, all three characteristics. So when we did that, what did we get? I think we got 0. What? It was all three. 0.444%. Wasn't that the one we did earlier? Yeah, because that was the 333 people over that. Now, what about the probability of, do you see how I could have written the top one differently? Instead of saying the word and, could I just put the intersection symbol in there instead? And that's where it overlapped. So and is the numbers where they do what? Overlap together. Okay? And so that's where we would get our answer up above of 0.9013%. Okay. Whew, let's see if we can do another one. Are you ready? Friends? How many people are surveyed, were diagnosed with chronic bronchitis, so we're using a different word here, or emphysema? Okay, let's go back here and see if we can figure this out. So we're doing bronchitis and what now? All right, so you're with me. Bronchitis. Does it include all those people? But I'm also doing which one? Emphysema? It's all of those. Just don't double count what two numbers? The two that are in green. Would you guys agree with me on that? So all of those, because when it's or, do I have to be more inclusive? And is you're kind of exclusive. You have to strictly have those traits. This one goes or, I don't have to have both, but I could when we work with it. So when we do this, all right, let's see if I've got the numbers down. Guys, did I get these right? Oops, not with highlighter right though. All right, 2,071 plus 459 plus 333 plus 80 plus, is it 343? Plus 399. Did I get those right? No, go back here. Hold on. I will get there in a second. So sorry. You need your card, please. Yes. It's okay. Oh, we forgive her. Guys, look at the values that we have here. I have to count all of these. 459, 333, 80, 2,071, 343, and 399. I got all my numbers. I have to count each one of those what? Once. All right, so when we do that, what do we get for the number? Woo! Anyone glad we have calculators? Okay. Now, what's the probability of that person? If I just took from the whole survey, what did we just get for that one? This would be the probability of chronic bronchitis. I wish I could spell better. Bronchitis. Or what? Emphysema. Am I spelling it wrong? Yes, I am. Yep, we're going to get there. Yep. So what do we get there? 3,685 people over my what? Over my 75,000. Guys, what's the decimal for that? What do we get? 0.4913 repeating, which is going to give us about 4.13%. Good enough for government work right now. I know that sounds horrible, but close enough? I know, it's not fair when I don't tell you what to round to. All right, now, great question was asked earlier. Olivia went there. I think it was Olivia who said this, right? Is there a symbol for or? Guess what the answer is? Yes, it is called the union symbol, and it's the U, okay? And when you see that symbol, the word you read is going to be what? Or. Which means you include more. It doesn't mean you have to be both, but it's going to be either or. And could you be both? Yes. So you have to be careful to count all of those. So really, could I have rewritten up above the following? So probability of chronic bronchitis, I literally could have written it like this and got the same thing. Or emphysema. Exact same communication. I don't know, you or it's about the same amount of work. Sorry, my hand's tired from running work. Yes.
Does the probability have to be between 0 and 1? Is the 4.913?
That's 4.91%. So it's bigger than 0. So think about it. It's 0.049. So it is still bigger than 0. Yeah, that is smaller than 1. Because 1 would be 1.00000. It's just a really small what? Percent. But remember, the percentage is between 0% and what? 100%. So it's just really small. Yeah, good. Now that we got all clicking, it works out really good. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Why? I have a quick question. Why did you move it up to 4%?
It's just another way of communicating. You can either do fraction, decimal, or a what? Percent. I just didn't reduce the fraction. That's why we just did the percent at the end, because we didn't take the time to reduce the fraction. Because if you leave in fractional, do you have to reduce it? Yes. Yay for us. Moving on. Okay. Next one. Guys, easy. I think you have this down. How many of the people surveyed were diagnosed with COPD? Going back up there. All right. All right. COPD. Aren't those my numbers I have to add together? Okay, I'm going to write them down. Let's see if I can get this.
2,105.
I got to really take it off highlighter after I use highlighter. You think I would learn after all these years? And I don't. All right, 333 plus 80. I got, was it 2,943 people? No, wait, I did the wrong one. Wrong page. Oh, that's right. Chronic. No, that's the wrong numbers. I was doing the wrong one. I was looking at the wrong one. You guys go. Sorry. 970 plus 343. Sorry, my fault. 333 plus 459. Okay. 2,105. Okay, thank you for your approval with the yawn. Okay. I gotcha. Okay, sorry about that. I was looking at a later problem. Try not to flip back and forth. Okay. Question here. Given that a randomly chosen person from the survey was diagnosed with COPD, what is the probability that person was diagnosed with chronic bronchitis? Here's the change in wording. Given that a randomly chosen person from the survey was diagnosed with what? here's what we're asking from you. Of that group, you no longer are looking at all the people surveyed. You're narrowing it down. What group of people am I looking at? All those who have COPD. Well, how many people have COPD? 2,105. But I want to know the probability that they have chronic what? So when I look at this, which ones have, if I'm looking at C, please move, okay. Which one, if I have COPD, which one has chronic bronchitis? Where am I looking? And 333. Would you guys, is it the islet again? Yeah, so we're really looking at this one when we are doing it. All right, see if I can come back here. So we're really doing which one? 459 plus 333, and what do we get? Which is about 37.62 what? Percent. That is a special type of probability that is called conditional probability. I give you a what? A condition. The condition is always signaled with the word given, okay? So the conditional probability is the probability of an event occurring given that another event has already what? Happened. So, what is the notation for this? And this is really unique. The notation is P given the probability of B given A. Now, what's A? The one that's happened. It's like the narrowing. That would be your COPD with this one. Your B is like what's like a subgroup of that value. All right. Here's what we mean. Problems that have conditional probability, the sample space changes. It gets, most of the time, as I say, most of the time it gets small, okay? So given is going to be your clue. Let's see if we can do this really quick, okay? This is where I was messing up earlier. Guys, look back at this survey. How many people are diagnosed with chronic bronchitis? Who has chronic bronchitis? That doesn't sound right. Okay. Right? Doesn't it sound right now? Who has COPD? Oh, it sounds like I'm making you all sick. Okay. What do we got? What numbers do I add together to get this? Because this is what you should show as well. Who were diagnosed, guys? Is this our 2007 one? Okay. 80 plus 333. Greta, say it right. Okay. And then 459. And that was that really large number I was trying to make you guys do earlier, right? 2,943 people. Now, let's write this the correct way. And let's read it. It says, given that a randomly chosen person from the survey was diagnosed with chronic bronchitis. Guys, what's your given? The given is what was diagnosed with chronic bronchitis. What is the probability that the person was also diagnosed with COPD? What had to happen first? Yeah, so really my given is chronic bronchitis. And then I'm going to look, after I narrow it down to people who have chronic bronchitis, who do I look for? Exactly. So, how many people have chronic bronchitis? Much better use of numbers on that one, Olivia. Yes, 2,943. Now, looking back at our survey, our Venn diagram, which I love Venn diagrams because they're visual, I'm looking at those who have chronic bronchitis right here. Who also now, I want to know the probability if they also have what? So aren't we using those two, right? They're still in the smaller category of chronic bronchitis, but aren't we also talking about that they have COPD? So when we're doing that, see if I can get it down here again. Isn't that the 400, oops, I'm going to leave that highlighter there just because. 459 plus, was it 333?
Yeah.
And so that is going to give us 792 over 2,943. All right, what does that give us about for a decimal? Is that what you guys got? Something large like that? All right, what's that about percentage-wise? Do you notice how the percentage actually got bigger? Wow, did we actually get that done in time? Yeah. Wow, people. Okay, here's what I need you to hear. So freeze, don't move so you can listen. Because movement and listening doesn't happen. I know you all. Okay. First of all, this homework assignment is due Monday at 8 a.m. Like a normal Monday. Okay? You will then have your quizzes assignment on for your thank you, off-campus learning day. Here's the cool thing. As of right now, off-campus learning day just opened. But you need to do your homework first to do it. Alright? Are you guys with me on that? You do homework first, correct it, submit it. I will obviously finish going over homework with you on Tuesday. You can ask questions over it or whatever. But go in the order.
Caitlin
Homework,
Bauer, can you please
off-campus
step in
learning
the
day.
office?
Life
Caitlin Bauer,
is beautiful.
thank you.
I'll see you on Tuesday. Yes.
Is the quizzes graded for accuracy?
You can take it as many times as you want.
I do.
So yeah. So in a way, yes, but you can retry if you want to go for an ace unit. It's up to, it's still only out of 10 points on it. So if you don't have a lot of time and you get an 8 out of 10 and you're like, I need to work on something else, work on something else.
Mrs. Gregerson.
I'm giving you